You're listening to the Clean Comedy Podcast with your host, James Creviston.
Hey, everybody. James with the Clean Comedy Podcast. And today I'm going to go over what I call Hot James Summer. Now, you probably heard the phrase Hot Girl Summer. Hot Girl Summer is kind of a catch-all phrase in the rap community, but I wanted to use it for Hot James Summer. This is what I'm going to call it, and it's might be funny, and my kids will probably hate it. But Hot Girl Summer, as you know, is a rap song, Nicki Minaj song. If you've never heard that song, I don't recommend it. But it just means being confident, having fun, not caring what others think, just kind of having like a really fun, amazing summer. Now, the reason I'm calling it that is because this summer has been awesome already. If you listen to the episode earlier in the year, I did the first quarter review. This is kind of second quarter review for 2023. And I really, really, really wanted to touch base on all that stuff because a lot of things happened. If you go back to the episode with Craig Shoemaker, if you notice on there, he invited me to come do stand up for him and come do a show for him at Flappers, and then possibly open for him later on. Well, all that stuff happened. So I went to Flappers and I opened the show, I hosted, I did all those things. And then Craig said, let's go to Laughlin. Let's go to Laughlin for 5 days, 4 shows, and perform there in Laughlin, Nevada. So that's what we did. And Laughlin, Nevada was crazy. What can I say about Laughlin? If you follow the Instagram stories and stuff, it was like 115 degrees. It was wild. It was crazy. It was hot. We had great shows. I learned so much during that time frame. It was really amazing because we got there on Thursday and we had driven. We switched off driving and I finished it up. So I was kind of tired by the time we got there, but I was like hyped because we're gonna do a show that night, right? So we go to mic check, we go to setup, we get merch, we do all the stuff, we get in the hotel, we do everything we need to do, and then we go do the show. And that first show was amazing. It was in front of about 386, something like that. It was a lot. It was like 300 people. Every show had like 300 plus people that we were there. So it was amazing to perform in front of that many people because I had not performed in front of that many people before. I think the last time I did that, I'd done it like a college or something in like Barstow or something. I think it was like 285 or 300. It was something like that. So I hadn't done that many people ever. So it was great. And there were the excited crowd. They had fun. Now, here's the thing. If you know everything that's going on, you know that I want to get ready for Dry Bar. So that means I would love to be doing 25, 30-minute sets. Now, Craig Shoemaker does 90 minutes, you guys. 90 minutes. I don't know very many comedians that are doing 90-minute shows. It was amazing. And he did it every night. He did a 90-minute show every single night. So I was doing about anywhere between 7 and 10 minutes, depending on what was going on those nights. So it was mainly 10 minutes, but there was a couple of nights where we were doing things. We started later, we had to end early or whatever. And so 7 to 10 minutes around that range. But it was great. Those are great moments because I really had to go dig deep and go, what are the bits that I know are going to work here? What are bits that are going to really pop? What are the bits that are going to connect here? We're dealing with a different crowd outside of LA, right? We're now in Laughlin, Nevada, which is on the Nevada-Arizona border. We're dealing with people who are on vacation for around 4th of July weekend. We're dealing with people who may be older or of a different demographic than what I'm used to, who are not, like LA people. So it's really interesting to try to work that and find, does my material work here? What I found was one night, I want to say it was Saturday night. I think it was the Saturday show. So we performed on Thursday. That was a great show. Friday for me was kind of a rough show. I was really working it, and things didn't click how I wanted. Saturday was an awesome show, and then Sunday rhythmically, it was a good show, but rhythmically I was off, and I think it was just a weird vibe on Sunday, and I don't know. I never blame the crowd. I know some people say, "Oh, you can blame the crowd." I've heard other people say, "Never blame the crowd." I'm not blaming the crowd because I think there were great crowds every single night. We had return people come back on certain nights. So I think rhythmically, I was just off. And so when you're off rhythmically on jokes, it really throws you for a loop and kind of throws off the beat of the show, even. And I could feel that I kind of affected the overall show, which was unintentional, but it happens. Sometimes that's what happens. You just kind of miss something in the workup or whatever. But that Saturday show, I had to adjust. We had another comedian come out from LA. They came on and did some time. So I had to break my set in half. So I said, well, my set doesn't work as well if I have to start over. The joke that I did on Thursday, if I have to start over, we kind of lose momentum there. So I did a whole different joke. I did a joke about being about the Navy and Navy commercial and all that stuff like that. So I did that joke. I did that joke on Saturday night, and it was amazing. It was like the best response I've ever gotten to that joke. Now it could be because right, it's about to be Fourth of July. Everyone's a little more patriotic, whatever it is. But it was one of those things where I absolutely was so happy to have done that joke and had that joke in my pocket, and that I could do it on the fly. That it was really good. The great thing that one of the good things was Craig did give me a lot of extra taglines or punchlines or change, kind of reworked a few bits to make them punch up more, get bigger laughs. So that was great. You know, those moments of, oh, that's a better punchline. Oh, that's a better line. I had my feed the bears bit that I normally do. Um, and I used to say Yosemite, right? It's a long word. It's hard to say. Some people go, "Where is that? What is that?" But instead, we talked about changing it to Alaska, right? Alaska pops. It's easier. Everyone knows about it. It's not confusing because Yosemite is only in California. Maybe only California people know that. But Alaska, people know about Alaska, and there are bears in Alaska, so it works well. So I liked that a lot. There was a couple of other things that we did that he worked with me on that really popped and changed how the set went. And I noticed it. I was trying to tweak it on Friday. And I think that's probably the problem for me is that I have a hard time changing on the fly. I really have some memory issues. I have some other things. Those are not excuses, but they're just explanations of why I probably struggled on Friday and didn't do as good of a job as I could have done. But on Saturday, I instituted them well because I ran those sets in my room. I walked around. I think a big part of what a comedian's doing is knowing your sets. You should be able to know your set. So I worked on it. I walked around my room. I did it. I practiced it, listened to it, practiced it, listened to it, practiced it, listened to it. So I probably practiced 4 or 5 times in my room and listened to it and like, okay, no, that's the beats off, the rhythm's off, the joke's off, the whatever's off, and just kind of tightened it up. And then I came out Saturday, and Saturday I knocked the socks off of everything. And it was that was one of the best performances I've ever given in my life. And I was so happy with how it turned out. So it was amazing. And then keep in mind, on my Thursday set, the set that I came in and did was a good set. It was a really good set. I'd be happy with that set. B plus, A minus, worst case, right? But that Saturday set, A plus plus plus. That was one of the best sets ever. It killed every step of the way. It was well done. It was just on point. It was just spot on. And then Sunday again, rhythmically, I don't know if something happened with the Sunday crowd or that we were trying to get ready to leave after Sunday and it kind of threw it off. I don't know what it was. Something threw it off, but it was there. So, needless to say, still opening for Craig. I'll be opening for him all the rest of July. I'll actually, if you go to the Instagram, they're up there. But I'll July 14th in Simi Valley, July 15th in Valencia, July 22nd in Bellflower, California, and then July 28th through 29th in San Diego at Mike Drop San Diego. So these are things that I learned. Hot James Summer is happening, right? I'm being more confident. I'm working on stuff that I know I need to refine and dial in and make better. And it's really one of those things where every one of us should take that moment to step back. We should be listening to our sets and doing, because I realized I got a little comfortable on some of my jokes and they didn't land how I wanted. They still landed, they still got laughs, But after I listened to it, I go, oof, I kind of not dialed it in, but I kind of just like did it and it wasn't as strong as it normally is. Or maybe I was nervous or whatever. So I wanted to rectify all that on Saturday. Now, the crazy part about that is that means I had 2 days of sets that were one that was pretty decent and one that was terrible, probably one of the worst sets of my life. Um, and then I kind of dialed it in, but it shouldn't take me 2 sets to dial that in. I realized that as I was doing it, I was like, okay, I shouldn't have to do 2 nights of shows to dial in a set. I should have that set dialed in. So I made it my goal now, this summer, and as I keep moving forward, is to dial in those sets every week as I do it, to go over my sets, to work them, to rework the punchlines, to see where maybe I'm stumbling, maybe I'm dropping something, maybe I'm not being 100% on it. Whatever it is, that's what I need to do, and it's great. Now the other part is also the material wise. So there's are some things that my material that would overlap with Greg's, and so we have to be aware of that, right? Because maybe we talk about similar topics, maybe not the same point of view or same whatever. But when you're working with a headliner, a lot of times there is things that you don't want to do or shouldn't do. Like I wouldn't do crowd work, right? I'm not going to do crowd work because one, I'm doing 10 minutes up front. Doing crowd work at the first 10 minutes of any show is not ideal, right? You don't want to do that. But he does crowd work throughout his show, and his closer is crowd work. And so I don't want to step on that, right? So there's some of those things. Some of the topics we talk about are similar, and we might have a similar POVs on that. So it might be a little better to not do those. So I'm learning a lot about that. Now, keep in mind with Darren Carter, he and we didn't have jokes that stepped on each other or were in the same vein. So we'd have to worry about that. That's nothing I have to worry about. But then, with David Studebaker, when I travel with him, some jokes I don't do. I don't do a joke about the Titanic and whatever, because he has a whole bit based around the Titanic. So I never do that bit. So there's some things you have to think about when you're out there working with other comedians. Does this work? Is it something that I need to be aware of? What do I need to be aware of? And this is where you ask the headliner, hey, is there any material that you do that you don't want me to do? Is there any topics that you talk about that I should be aware of so I don't cover them too? Now, and not every headliner covers the same topics as their opener or their feature or whatever. So maybe you don't have to worry about it, but it's something that you should ask and try to make sure you're clear on before you go on stage, right? You don't want to have any issues later on. Uh, so it was good. The other thing that I learned was merch. I don't sell any merch. That's not what I do. I'm not at that level. I'm not going to sell any merch. That's not going to happen. But Craig Shoemaker, who is a well-known, well-established comedian, sells merch. And so part of the job as an opener is help setting up the merch table and selling merch after the show. That was a big undertaking. I learned so much. I mean, we sold so many things every show. And then Craig stood there graciously and took pictures with people over and over and over again and signed autographs or whatever. I mean, we were there for a good hour or so after the show. Now, keep in mind, he just performed 90 minutes on stage. Okay. If I performed 90 minutes on stage, I'd be tired and run down and ready to just go back to the hotel or to my room and go to sleep or whatever. He stood out there for an hour, shaking hands, hugging people, taking pictures, signing autographs. I mean, just like what's happening? So it was one of those things where I was like, this is impressive to watch, and he really has this affinity and love for his fans. And that was another thing I learned. It's like you can't just go, oh yeah, great, you're a fan. Yeah, thank you for being a fan. There's a relationship, a bond that's been formed right in that time of you being on stage, and I saw that really happen in real life. So it was a really great thing to witness. Um, and as for merch, he sells shirts, coffee mugs, stickers. Um, I think he's gonna do a book at some points, but yeah, shirts, stickers, coffee mugs are the main things that he sells, and they sell so well. So if you're established, you have jokes that work, or you have a phrase or a catchphrase or something like that. I think Darren, if you're listening, I think you should do "I like my women like I like mine," and then like leave a blank thing, and then just like sell that as a shirt. That's such a good phrase. It's such a good thing. People know you for it. Yeah, he has the party starter shirt. Darren does. So and then David sells books. He wrote a great comedy mystery book that he sells after the show. So merch is definitely something that a lot of people are doing, and I think it's a good thing because people want to take home a piece of that experience. They want to remember it, right? They're going to remember it in their mind, but they want to have a physical remembrance piece for it. And I was just just blown away by how much goes into that, right? Because we are cataloging merch before we left. We counted it on our way back. We checked it every night. Like, it was a lot of work, but it was really interesting because it's another revenue stream for comedians that sometimes we don't think about, or at least I hadn't thought about yet. I was like, that's cool. In the future, I'd love to do something about that. But think about it now. If you're writing jokes and you write something that you think that gets the people, either people repeat back to you or say that's my favorite joke or whatever it is, think about, oh, can I make that into merch? Like, I have my Feed the Bears joke that I've had repeated back to me many times that people tell me they love. That's eventually probably going to become merch, maybe just right now, maybe a sticker for a little while, maybe just a sticker that you could put on stuff. It's like, it looks like one of those break glass or emergency things, like in case of emergency, Feed the Bears, whatever it is, something like that. So something silly, make fun of it, make it something you could sell or give away or whatever. $5 sticker, dollar sticker, whatever it is you do to sell, and then sell stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that you can do. Um, I might do maybe part of my Navy bit. Maybe I'll do a sticker for Navy, a Navy thing or something. I don't know. There's a lot of things out there that I could totally do, and it really made me realize there you have to have some business acumen as you get moved up the scale of the chain in stand up. You have to kind of have a little more business acumen to go, okay, what's going to help me make money? Yes, ticket sales works. That's great. But you get a portion, right? You maybe 40 or 50% of the door, or whatever, ticket sales or whatever it is. Well, that's not enough, right? Because you just gave 100%, you're only getting half it. How do you make up that other 50%? Merch sales, meet and greets, online classes, online coaching, um, mo- audio sales. You produce your own stuff. Maybe you produce your own special like Louis C.K. and sell it, like that stuff like that. These kind of things are what you have to do. And I'm realizing, traveling with Craig and learning from him, that there's a lot of levels to what happens in stand up, and that what you can do with it. It's really interesting to see that now I bring a special set of skills to the table as well, right? One, podcast. I have the podcast experience. I produce 300 plus of these episodes. We get thousands of downloads every month. I have MBA. I know marketing funnels. I know marketing techniques. I know blogging. I know screenwriting. I know all these skills that I have. I can use to help. So there's kind of a good trade-off there. We're learning from each other. We're gaining information. We're working together, and it's turned into a thing. We're a partnership. Not a full partnership, obviously. Like, there's no way I'm getting like 50% of whatever. It's not like that. But a relationship, another business level relationship, and it's really interesting to be able to put my skills to work to work with him. And so I bring more value than just I'm an opener who can sell merch. It's, hey, I'm an opener who can help with marketing. I can help with your email. I can help with your, yeah, if you want to do a podcast, I can help with audio editing. I can help with video editing. I can help with, not there. He has a great video editor. Gianni, this guy is amazing. So I'm not gonna ever compete with that. That guy's 10 times beyond what I could do, but I can assist in those moments to help bring stuff forward. I know customer service and marketing management, those kind of things. I can use those skills to help direct people who maybe have questions or need assistance getting tickets or finding out more information about Craig, responding, or social media assistance, whatever it is. So I am grateful because this really is Hot James Summer. It's, I'm being confident. I'm very confident in what I can do. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm not really caring about what's happening on the outsides of me. I'm caring about what's happening in these moments, in these weeks, and these shows leading up to it. I have great shows coming up. Also going up to San Jose to work with David, which he's one of my favorite people to work with. Always one of my best friends. And so I want you guys to think about, go watch a famous headliner somewhere. Go to a show this just in the next month or so. Go to a show with your with your favorite headliner. One that where he's like headlining the show, not like the Comedy Store where there's like 10 funny comedians on there. One where it's like a special event for that comedian. Go watch their show. Go see how they interact after the show with the fans. Go see if they sell merch. Go see what they do there and see what happens. Watch them do their thing and take notes because I'm starting to see there's a pattern. Sorry. I'm starting to see there's a pattern. For every level you go up, there is something that you need to add to your repertoire to be more successful, right? To gain more levels. Like when I went and saw Jerry Seinfeld, he didn't sell his own merch. You know who sold it? Caesars. Caesars had a whole shop outside the Coliseum that sold all his merch, his DVDs, I think like his books, his whatever he had, whatever merch he had, sold there. That's amazing. He didn't have to do any of that. He didn't have an opener come out and do it. He was at the level. Now he's at levels above that, right? He's the most famous comedian in the world worth billions of dollars. Craig is, is a great comedian, and he's a national headliner and maybe even international level. But T and Jerry are not the exact same person, right? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference. So now Craig has openers help sell merch, which is great, right? You're learning something. Not only are you being a team player here, but you're also learning a skill and learning something about the business, which is great. It's like an internship. We still get paid, by the way. I'm getting paid to do that, so it's not like an internship. But those things, that's part of it. So it's a really interesting way to learn how the business works and to kind of see, okay, when I get to this level, I want to be doing X, Y, and Z. I want to be able to sell. That's what I was thinking. I might sell stickers soon, right? Stickers are harmless. They don't cost very much to make. They're easy to pack, easy to take. And, obviously if I'm opening for Craig, I need to ask, like, hey, that's the other thing is if you're opening for somebody, you're not the person everyone's there to see. You need to ask, hey, can I also sell merch? They may say no. I don't know. I have not asked Craig if I can sell merch, so I have no idea if I can sell merch or not. But I'm gonna ask, right? It's gonna be one of those things where, I'm gonna ask and see what he says. Maybe he says, hey, focus on my merch. You could sell your merch a different time or whatever. Okay, cool. It's his show, right? He's bringing me along. That's fair. Maybe he'll say, yeah, you can sell your merch alongside my merch. So just make sure you keep track of your inventory, my inventory, how much you made, how much you sold, all that stuff like that. Boom, you're good to go. So those things like that might be something that I need to do. And we'll see what happens, obviously also probably one of the things I'm not going to do is I'm probably gonna have to sell my merch at the same price he sells his merch. So if he sells a sticker for $5, so I'm selling stickers, I need to sell my sticker for $5, right? Because I don't want somebody to go, oh, your sticker's $2.50, so I'll buy that instead of his $5. Like there's gonna have to be things like that. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't want to cause any issues. That's not my job. I'm there to open and support. So it's an interesting way to do it. I'm pretty stoked about that. What else do I have to say? I guess the big thing is I made these expectations for myself at the beginning of the quarter. I went to go look for those questions. I think I called them quarterly, but maybe I didn't. Yeah, quarterly comedy update. Am I enjoying performing stand up? Yep. How has my material evolved since the last quarter? It surely has. What topics and themes am I exploring? Again, family, all that stuff. I've been taking care of my physical and mental health. Yep. I've actually in therapy. I'm doing therapy every week. Has it affected my comedy? Sure has. Made me more positive. What's been the biggest success and challenges? Well, we just talked about this tour. What can I do? What am I building on? I'm learning from him, right? How have audience reactions been? Again, I had 2 good shows, two okay, one bad show, one okay show. Have I been taking risk? Yep, I have been taking risk. I took some risks this time. I've been networking. I surely have. I met with some great comedians. I got to meet Kayvon while I was out there. There was a lot of people. And then I had a birthday dinner that I met another comedian who's going to be on this podcast soon, Tarun, who's amazing. So so I'm meeting a lot of people. I get to hang out with Sam Tripoli again. Met him through other people. All these things are happening. I'm meeting all kinds of people. I'm working with all kinds of people. because I'm opening myself up to those situations. Um, have I been utilizing social media and other online platforms? Yes, I have. You have seen the Clean Comedy Podcast Instagram. I'm doing reels and shorts. I'm learning how to cut my own clips, put together stuff. Like I am really doing a lot here to try to figure this out because I want to make a I want to boost everything and get more skills. So this is definitely doing that. Um, how has my relationship evolved? Still in love with comedy. I'm always going to be in love with comedy. What are my goals for the next quarter? My goals for the next quarter are to keep working to get ready for Dry Bar. Uh, I heard through the grapevine that they might be accepting things in August, so I need to get another good tape. So I've got to work on that. I've got to get a good set to go send to them. I need a really good set, so hopefully I can work that out. Have I been developing my comedic skills outside of stand-up, writing, improv, acting? I teach improv. I teach a podcast course to teenagers. I teach improv to teenagers. I teach stand-up to teenagers. I am writing my own stuff. I'm working on writing things for Craig. I'm working on other marketing skills. I'm taking courses, like all this stuff. I'm growing. Um, am I effectively managing my time balancing? That might be a little hard. I am really in the pocket, really working on a bunch of projects all at the same time. So I feel like my time is not always balanced how I want, which is kind of hard. But I think I'm getting better. And I did talk to my therapist about this. I know that that's weird, but I did talk to my therapist about. I want to make sure I have a balance. Um, has my audience demographic changed over time? I think I'm still finding out my audience. I think that's a interesting thing. I thought it was one group of people, but I'm realizing there's a wide spectrum, and I like it. And I have a wide range of people. I have people come up after the show and say, I love your set. It was great. You were super funny. I loved your stuff. I came back. There was a lady that was there for all 4 shows. She was like super vocal, super happy to see me. It was great. She was like, oh, I love you. Did such a great job tonight. Oh, you did such a great job tonight. Whatever it was. And that was really awesome. Um, have any current events, issues influenced my comedy in the past quarter? I am working on some other stuff. I'm going to work on a new show and a new project that is going to be a little more news, political, social issue based at some point. That's something I do want to do. I love that kind of stuff. So I want to talk about it. I don't want it to be thought provoking too. I don't want it to be like right side, left side, whatever. I want it to be like, hey, this is the topic. Let's figure this out. Let's find the ground. Let's find the common ground. Let's find a way to like make everyone's life better. So I really like that idea. As a history person, a person loves history, a history major, that to me is very important. Let's see. Have I been seeking feedback from other? Yes, I have. I've been seeking feedback from other comedians and trusted sources, and I have been improving. Have I been keeping up with interesting news and trends? Yes. I again working on social media stuff. That's something I was really drilled into me. Was like, hey, you got to be on top of this. How I've been managing my finances related to comedy career. Uh, Socking money away, obviously, trying to be prepared. I got to buy a new car. Unfortunately, that's the reality. I have a car that's from 2006. I've got to really replace it soon. So working on that. Have I been able to maintain a healthy work-life balance? How can I prioritize my well-being? I am about to go back to jujitsu and MMA. I need to do that, so it's something that I push off. I'm hoping by the end of July I will be back in there doing that thing. Have I been able to participate in any comedy festivals or competitions? No, I haven't done that. I don't know if I'm even going to do that. How has my personal professional growth as a comedian impacted my relationships, family, and friends? I feel like I've had great relationships with everybody. I keep growing. My relationships are getting better, stronger. I'm there for everybody. I'm trying to be more empathetic, more listening. Because now that then I'm going to be traveling a lot and being out on the road a little bit more, away from everybody, I need to take those moments while I'm home and listen to everybody and say, okay, how can I help? What can I do to be helpful while I'm home? It's a great thing to remember. Comedy, while it is my career, while it is my job, isn't my only obligation, and that's a hard thing for a lot of comedians to remember. Is that's not your only obligation. You have to be obligated to your family, to your friends, to all those things. So hopefully that'll help you. If you guys need these questions, I think I put them up on comedypreneur.com. If I didn't, I will put it up there. I should put that up there so everybody can go look at it. Do the what's your quarterly review? Go look at those things and put it on there. Check out the Instagram. Go to at the Clean Comedy Podcast and on Instagram. Give us a follow. Go to Apple and give us 5-star review, please. Please help us. Like, please help me. Like, move this forward. It'll help the show grow. So please go give 5 stars. It's fantastic. I'm so grateful for everyone who listens. So grateful for everyone who comes to the shows. So grateful for everyone who supports. Grateful for everyone who reaches out and allows me to help them in any way. I am grateful for every single one of you. I'm grateful for all my comedy friends, all my mentors, everyone who's been helping me through this process, through this road. I'm on year 8. This is year 8 of this journey. It is fantastic. I'm loving it. I can't wait to do more. And I'm so grateful for every person who watches this, listens to this, whatever. I hope that you enjoy these. And we're gonna have more guests soon. So this is just an update of for Hot James Summer. Thanks for listening. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.